Yo, good morning everyone, what is up? Welcome to part 3, final chapter, the BBBB tournament. We are going to get started pretty shortly. Players are still getting ready, so it's going to be a few minutes before we get the ball rolling here. But welcome everyone, thank you for stopping by. And this tournament is about to come to a very exciting conclusion in just a few moments. So, thanks very much. We will get started pretty shortly, everyone. Pretty shortly. Alright, thanks guys. We still just getting ready here. Reginald is taking care of some stuff, and then once he's all set, we will get Reginald versus Ryzen, and we'll kick this thing off with the losers finals match, which will be a best of 5, unlike the bracket matches, which were all best of 3, meaning first 2 wins. Each player is going to need 3 wins to take this one down. And all that should be coming at you pretty soon, folks, pretty soon. Hey, what's up? We got Pokefan in the building. He will be my co-host for the evening, or the afternoon rather, depending on where you are located. But awesome, welcome Pokefan. Welcome Eclipse in the chat. Thanks so much, homie, for all the support, sharing with us today. Alright, I think it's probably going to be about another 10 minutes or so, guys, but yeah, here chatting with everyone, hanging out. Good to see Dragoon in the chat, good to see Pokefan in the chat, good to see Dandy in the chat, good to see everybody. This is fantastic. Yeah, sorry, I'm still waking up a little bit myself, trying to remember how to properly communicate, and yeah, once the players are ready, we will get some co-commentary, and we will get things underway. So yep, just a few more minutes, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. But we're almost there. We are almost there. Alright, we have our first contestant. The losers finals match. Reginald has hopped on into the lobby. And Now we are gathering up Ryzen, and we are about to get this thing going. Alright, so Ryzen is on his way. We are about to get rolling. Here he is. Alright. Let's start up this call.
Hello? Alright, how about you? Am I coming through alright? Chat hearing me okay?
My microphone was off. Sorry about that. Welcome, PokeFan. Yeah, it's loud and clear as far as I can tell. Chat, if you guys wouldn't mind letting me know how the volume levels sound. And, we'll get started. Okay, so...
Yeah, let's get the overlay up and let's get this party going.
Sure, one
Take a
second.
look. Reginald's running SAP LSC. Looks like we've got a Riot Light Baldur's Edge 1 build. Yep, this is kind of the one we've been seeing. Actually, hold up. Did I see that right?
Anyway, this is the lovely overlay that PokeFan has put together for this tournament. Looking mighty professional up in here.
So for some reason it's saying he's got a sheer Nui on my end. Otherwise everything looks okay. Oh, I see. It's because he's currently adjusting his arsenal. In that case, I'll take a look at Ryzen's build. Catalyst. Sniper build with laser rifles. Curd, Flash Phantom, Gladys.
So Reginald has a, at least for the moment, has taken a departure from his previous build. He's no longer rocking the Riot Lights, nor is he rocking the Salvation Ray, at least not for this fight. Interesting transition. That's cool though. You're not obligated to stick to any one build. Except for when you win. When you win, you cannot change builds, but any other time, you can rock whatever you want within the confines of the rules. Okay, Reginald needs a couple more minutes.
Ryzen's build is... Okay. Yeah, it looks like Ryzen's build is fairly well balanced in terms of defense. Got lots of laser defense in the arms. Good amount of bullet defense in the body. Where's legs? Let me check out those legs.
Yeah, this is the build that Ryzen has been running throughout the tournament. He's made a few adjustments over the course of the last week, but has been finding a good amount of success here. And it's a cool build. It's very minimal, obviously speed-focused sniper build. It's very cool. Yeah, this should be an exciting match. These two have not yet met in the tournament, so this will be first for them.
Yeah. Glad to see. Interesting to see how they perform against each other.
Absolutely. It's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be an excellent contest. Yeah, so right now Reggie needs a couple more minutes, but once he is available, he's going to call the coin flip, and then he will be either choosing or losing the map.
On Eclipse is saying.
Oh wait, Eclipse is right.
Ryzen in round 4, top bracket.
Yeah, I am totally mistaken. Ryzen was actually is the one who put Reginald into losers. I remember now that was quite the upset from the young up-and-comer.
Yeah. Always good to see newcomers doing some damage.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then Dandy, who is now waiting in grand finals, is the one who knocked Ryzen into losers.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. That's a pretty stark...
Yeah. Okay, so... Yeah, that's what I was saying is Shiranui. Which is interesting. To my knowledge, we haven't really seen any flamethrowers. They're less popular than art guns, but they can be very effective. And the Shiranui can put out a surprising amount of damage while also keeping your stamina down. Looks like you've got a special performance upgrade to try and drain some more of that stamina, as well as getting extra range on there, which is a good call.
That's true. It's going to be hard to pin Ryzen down with that flamethrower, but if he can manage to do so, that's going to be pretty potent. Let me see if I can't get the coin
Looks
flip
like,
from Reggie.
If he can survive those snipers, he'll have a slight advantage against laser damage, but it's not the lightest build, nor is it the heaviest build in terms of defense.
That is true. He is he's getting the best of all worlds, as far as I can tell. And the coin flip bot is not flipping coins. Son of a gun. Our lovely Discord bot by the name of 4 is typically my source for coin flips.
I've got a nickel right here. Tails. Just tossed a nickel, landed tails.
Okay. Well, in the future, let's use a web-based version, just so it's totally fair for everyone. But hope you did call called tails, or rather, Reggie called heads, and it ended up being tails. So the map selection will go to Ryzen today.
Okay. We've been seeing a lot of maps we don't usually see in the tournaments. It's nice to get stuff like Moonfall into the rotation.
Oh yeah, true. I was surprised by because Moonfall. I mean, I think it's a cool map, but it has definitely received mixed reviews from some of the player base. But yeah, there was a lot of Moonfall last time, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it looks like Ryzen has selected Simulation, and we'll do one last quick once-over. Everything appears to be in order. So here we go, folks. Game 1, Losers Finals, BBBB Tournament, Part 3 of the last chapter. Here we go. Hello, Rookie in chat, Sippin' Bleachy, Spooky, Dragoon.
Yeah.
Rookie, what is up, everyone? Alright, here we go.
Ryzen trying to get some early femto absorption.
Smart stuff. We have Reggie chasing down
He's immediately
with riot lights for the moment. So it looks like that flamethrower is intended more of a punish tool rather than a stamina drain effect.
That's how I gather. If he can get him stunned or stamina out with the riot lights, the sheer Nui's better for keeping them pinned down once they're already down and kind of delivering a bit more punishment in terms of damage.
True. Yeah, he's got to catch him first, but if he does, that's going to be pretty potent strategy, I think.
Indeed, I figure Reginald's probably either going to win hard or lose hard with this matchup.
Yeah, and keep in mind they do have 3 games, so if one of these games doesn't go these players' way, they will have a couple opportunities to make it all back.
Indeed, and even if Reggie does lose, he's nothing if not industrial. Oh, Ryzen's, I think, stamina out for a second there.
Ooh. Ryzen is going to be a tough guy to pin down.
Yeah. That Flash Phantom core is pretty underrated, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree. I think
he was more of it in this tournament.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, Flash Phantom. As far as popular core choices, I wasn't sure exactly where the player base would be headed, but Flash Phantom has definitely been a popular choice.
It's
for good reason.
More of a specialized version of Radiant Gleam, which makes sense in lore because it is essentially a copy of the Radiant Gleam pattern.
That's true. It's very similar. Yeah, it looks like finless Mume, but yeah, either way, we did see a decent number of Flash Phantom cores in this tournament. Which is cool. That was the kind of the whole objective, was to try to get these unseen pieces a little more love and a little more visibility.
Yeah, and Eclipse is kind of calling Reggie out on his shift usage. Ryzen, as always, is making very industrious use of his femto arms.
Right. Yeah, Reggie has popping Mirage here and there, which is not super common for Reginald, but he's clearly seeing some merit to that strategy this time around.
I haven't really seen a lot of punishment on Ryzen. He's been able to catch a lot of those riot lights in his shields. Oh, but I think they both just stalled out there.
Yeah, they're both flying. They're keeping pretty close to the ceiling up there, which, yeah, Reggie's knocked his head a few times so far.
Yeah, and it's not a bad strategy for Reggie to keep Ryzen up there, considering that this is very much a punish-focused build. He just needs to avoid falling into that same trap and not being able to capitalize.
True. Yeah, forcing people to chase him down close to the ceiling is can definitely be pretty strong. Oh, I think Reginald's out of stamina. Ouch, that can't be good. Looked like he got away mostly unscathed, but definitely landed a couple shots with Ryzen. Yeah. All right, we're down to a minute left.
Something about Reggie on this map. He's been having altitude troubles all tournament from what I've seen, and this map seems to really be his bane as far as keeping control of not hitting the flight ceiling.
Yeah, speaking of the devil,
there it happened again.
Yeah, to both of them one more time. Yeah, not sure who's winning. It looks like, if I had to guess, I would guess that Ryzen currently has the lead. Reginald is not. His weapons on their own are not super heavy hitters until that stamina drain kicks in, and so far it does not look like he's been able to take advantage of it.
Ryzen got his shield out just in time to catch a good amount of that riot light, but he's out of sniper ammo and he's switching to his lasers, which will probably end up doing a little bit less damage.
There we go. Time is up. All right.
But if I had to guess, yes.
Oh well, all right. So game one goes to Ryzen.
It was a fun experiment, Reggie, but I think that was a bad matchup for Reggie there.
Right. Oh, it wasn't terribly.
High-speed sniper build is going to be able to stay out of reach of those traditional punish weapons for the most part.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Ryzen's not the type of player to necessarily get pinned down by these riot lights. He's moving a little too quickly. So he's going to take game 1. That is fantastic. And Reginald has already called for the next map, which will be Airport. So he is clearly in a fighting mindset at the moment. Yeah, Ryzen, the underdog. The unknown
Ryzen really seems to have a good understanding of spacing.
Yeah, true. He understands his ranges very well, which I think is why he is so consistent when it comes to landing those attacks and to maintaining a pretty high VP by the end of each match.
Reginald's not wanting to switch it up.
No, he is sticking to his guns. So Airport's not exactly a small map, but it is smaller than Simulation. So we will see how that ends up working out for him. And although Ryzen clearly had the lead in the previous game, Reginald, it was a close match. Closer than expected. Oh, yeah, you're right. We did not switch teams. That was my bad. My bad, guys. Sorry, we should be spectating Ryzen right now, but I was a little overeager.
At least we've got mouths on both sides, so that's something.
Mm-hmm. That's true. We've got eyes and mouths. We can give you all the action.
Ryzen's being a little more aggressive this time. He's really getting up in there. I think he wants to try and put this to an end early and get some good shots in before it kind of turns into the battle of attrition we've been seeing.
True. Yeah, if you get fatigued and against these like riot lights, they can catch you really off guard.
Yeah, he's being much more aggressive, much more close in. Instead of trying to stay out of Gradland's reach, I think he's just kind of trying to flit around and make himself hard to hit. Just get so close it's hard to keep track of him. Using Assault Shift far more aggressively.
Oh yeah, I played several practice battles with Ryzen earlier this week, and his use of Assault Shift is very smart. He actually makes the most of it, and I find that to be the most difficult one to take advantage of myself. But no, Ryzen has definitely integrated that very successfully into his game, and it definitely pays off.
Yeah, and now he seems to have kind of backed off to a slightly more defensive stance, a bit closer to what we were seeing last match, though. Again, a little more aggressive.
Oh, Reggie's bumped his head one more time on the ceiling, sadly. But he's gotten quite a few more hits with those
and
riot
Ryzen
lights.
tries to take advantage of that, but he hits his head as well.
Oh no, that's something you see. That is a DXM classic. Yeah, so far, Reginald it seems like he has been more successful in this game landing those riot light hits than previously, and it could be due to the map size, so perhaps that was quite a wise pick from his perspective. From all perspectives. Reggie's trying to get a lock on Ryzen, but Ryzen is proving very difficult to keep track of. But if anyone can do it, it's Reggie. He is a veteran. He is been a competitive PvP player for some time. One of the strongest in the Switch community. And yeah, this is a tough fight for both of them.
Yeah, I'd say this is probably the fight of old versus new, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I'd say that's very accurate. Ryzen, as we mentioned a few times, pretty new to the competitive scene, but has been taking the world by storm. Excuse me. Ever since he showed up.
Yeah.
We're just under 2 minutes here.
If he can take it here, I believe if he can also beat Dandy Salad, he will be the first tournament newcomer to win their first tournament since the first tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
That is possible. Although,
I need to
there
go
was
back
one
and check
more.
the old brackets to be certain, though. Ah,
There's one more, but I won't say who he is.
that's right.
All right, we've got about a minute left
It's
here.
been a minute since we've had a tournament. Forgive me.
No problem. No problem. It was me.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go, Reggie. Reggie, we come down to 45 seconds left.
Ryzen out of sniper ammo, going in with those lasers again. Still playing a bit more defensive, but swooping in every once in a blue moon to try and get some damage in whenever he thinks he's got an opportunity to do so.
He's definitely really taken a shine to and getting close to mastering the jousting technique. He loves the charge straight at you, fire from a foot away, and keep on moving.
Yeah, I think he's actually gotten suddenly far more aggressive, seeing as the counter's gotten low. I wonder if he's worried Gradline might have a VP advantage on him, which might indicate this is kind of a close game.
Yeah, could be. It has looked pretty back and
I think he's
forth.
got the advantage.
What happened here?
That's another thing with Ryzen. He does seem to have a good awareness of the timer, which is something that not everyone can keep track of and also keep their eyes on the fight.
That's true. Well, okay, Ryzen takes it, and with a slightly larger gap this time, but not too much larger. Man, all right.
Indeed.
Ryzen is one game away, folks,
Ryzen.
from moving into grand finals.
Taking down Reginald twice is no easy feat.
No, taking Reginald down once is no easy feat. Yes, Eclipse, it is out of 5. Hello, Convenience in the chat. Hello, everyone in the chat who I may not have said hello to. Thank you all for being here today. We're going into Game 3 of Losers Finals, which is Ryzen versus Reginald. And let's swap up teams here so I can finally get behind to look at what Ryzen is up to.
Let's see.
So Reggie has chosen Factory for our third fight.
Okay.
Ooh, let's see if he wants to make any modifications here. The Riot Light so far has not quite been effective enough against Ryzen's gameplay. So
Yeah,
it's
he's
possible
going into
he'll
the
want to switch it
computer.
up. Alright, so Reginald is almost certainly making some
Welcome,
adjustments.
Convenient. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we don't have tournaments super often, but they're always a fun event when they do. And even if you aren't super into the competitive scene, it's always good to get in and, you know, maybe kill yourself on the first bracket, but have a good time doing so. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people around who can help you with, you know, just random matches or, also co-op. Looks like he's bringing out beluga beams and fail knots. This is
Yeah,
like
that's interesting.
Quad
Quad
sniper build.
snipers.
Looks to be pretty much the same armor.
Yeah, the body composition
This
is
is interesting
identical.
because, yeah. Ryzen does have a slight advantage in defense against bullet weapons, so let's see how this works out.
Gotcha. Yeah, I do believe Reginald's composition looked to be a little sturdier, just in terms of BP, but who knows? A lot of Ryzen's
Indeed.
defense is coming from his speed. He's a fast fellow. All right, here we go.
Absolutely.
Factory 2, Game 3.
I
Losers
think
finals.
that's probably indeed. That's probably why Reggie's going double snipers, is he wants to try and cut down on that spacing advantage that Ryzen has enjoyed.
Yep. Being able to fight him at his own game. With any luck, you will be more successful this time around. Yeah, the riot lights really weren't quite cutting it in this particular matchup. So let's see what this adjustment does for him. Oh, and thank you, Rookie, in the chat. This music is pretty cool, I think.
Ace Combat 7, yeah?
Yes, yes, in fact it is.
Yeah. Sounds good to me, buddy.
Thanks. Alright, we got bullets flying fast. Yeah, Ryzen once again going for that jousting strategy. Just firing off him, like a rocket towards his opponent, and trying to pump him full of lead from point blank range.
Yeah. So it seems to be a pretty big spacing battle. It looks like neither side is being too aggressive. So I guess until something happens, fun little bit of trivia. Those, I guess, hydrogen tanks there, they appear on a few maps, the giant spheres. The catwalks and stairs leading up to those are actually fully modeled and have proper collision, so if you get out of your arsenal, you can really walk around them fully functional.
Oh yeah, it's funny you should mention it, because on this very map, Nuteki and I did a whole run-around session, parkour as we were talking about before, and yeah, those stairs are pretty fun. Here we go.
Yes, and if you're doing hide and seek, they will actually hide your ID signature.
Huh. Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff.
The chain link fence, or the staircase, that is. Oh, Reggie just threw a rifle. He's throwing his beluga beams.
Both of his rifles. Yeah, so it looks like he must be out of ammo.
Know, if you put him on, he's out of ammo, and I mean, if he's got him on his back, they're still going to take up weight. So if he can have just a moment to stand still and throw them, that will give him a bit of a better mobility as we move into the second half of this match.
True, which is very valuable. Speed is most, you're speaking before Ryzen, but speed is defense too. You're not getting hit is the best defense. So Reginald is definitely looking to make that as much of a reality as he can.
1,000 damage bullet that misses does 0 damage.
Yep, that's true. Fate of bazookas in this game.
Yes. Unless you want to go prudence and just troll people by repeatedly stun locking them in the face because you're an asshole. But, big memes.
Alright, so Ryzen, Reggie.
Yeah, Reginald is visibly a bit faster now. I think he took a little bit of damage while he was throwing that second beluga beam.
Yeah, that's the major risk.
It'll be worth it.
Whenever you throw weapons, you are forced to stand still for just a very brief period, but especially in a battle like this where it's going to be a game of inches and every single bullet's going to count, that is a big risk to take. So hopefully, with any luck, that won't come back to bite him. But Ryzen's out of fail-not bullets, so he is now swapped over to his light pillars. And he's chasing Reggie down.
Got 40 seconds left on the clock. Chat's talking about the movement. Those little mini circles, they don't make it hard to spot you. However, they do mess with the tracking. The targeting computer is very primitive for these things. There is no real pattern-based recognition. It's simply current velocity plus time to target. Oh, and stalled out on the roof.
Landed in the ceiling there.
But
from my perspective, it did not look like he was punished.
Even if they don't disturb the pilot very much, will successfully make it difficult to hit a target at long distance simply because the targeting computer doesn't know how to compensate for that.
All right, so let's see.
Is very basic in Daemon X Machina.
It's the moment of truth here. Wow, okay. Ryzen. That is 3-0. He is your losers finals champion. Congratulations, Ryzen. Oh wow. Damn.
Indeed.
Yep. Barely a scratch on him.
Definitely
Excellent
a snipers versus snipers game.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. Wow. Well, congratulations to Ryzen. Totally coming out of the blue.
Excellent work.
Running his way all the way to grand finals. Congratulations to Reggie too for making it this far. And thank you so much, Reggie, for participating, for chilling with us, and for fighting your heart out.
Always a pleasure to see you. Your builds are so interesting. Anytime, my dude. It's always a pleasure working with you. Reggie's a great guy.
Oh yeah, Reggie's cool. Reggie's awesome. He's a very strong player. Very cool. Always taking the new fighters under his wing. But wow, congratulations. Well done, Ryzen. Absolutely good shit.
So now
well done,
we're on to
Reggie.
the main event in the hangar here. Moving on to grand finals.
Just say some stuff in the Discord real quick.
Get that overlay updated and show them the medal they're fighting for.
Yeah, right, here we go. Alright, we will have Dandy Salad versus Ryzen. It's going to be our grand finals.
Yeah, let's fit Ryzen's name in there. This will be interesting to watch.
Yes, it will. So, Ryzen's going to take a few minutes, which I totally understand. That was a harrowing affair.
Oh yeah.
So
Go take care of what you need. Yeah, take care of whatever you need to take care of. Get some water. Get some snacks.
Absolutely. Do what you gotta do, brother.
In the meantime, we can wait for our dear friend Dandy Salad to show up.
Yes, true. Dandy Salad is hanging out in the Discord. I think he's ready, or will be ready shortly.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me catch up with the chat here. Sorry guys, I didn't get a good look at what everyone was saying. What we got going on here? Talking about fight nights. Hell yeah. Yes sir, Eclipse is the originator. He is the king of fight night. Oop, Ryzen's hopping out for a sec. Understandable.
Yep. Well, in that case, let me take this time to go take a look at Monsieur Dandy Salad's build. Ooh, Guilty Throne. You don't see that very much. It's a good assault rifle, but it eats into your memory, which makes it difficult to use in a PvP setting, just because you have to allocate so many resources to keeping your lock-on time down.
Yeah, that's true. In fact,
other than that, very good general purpose.
Yeah, I believe it's a pretty strong assault rifle. In fact, that was one thing I was commenting on in previous days of his tournament, was that there were very few assault rifles. And in fact, one of the only players who brought assault rifles was Dandy with Guilty Throne. So perhaps that was an untapped avenue for taking this tournament down. But either way, Dandy definitely had an impressive showing with those Guilty Thrones in the previous games.
Probably one of the best balanced weapons in the game, just because it does have an enormous amount of memory consumption, but makes up for that with, as an aggregate, being probably the best assault rifle in the game, not counting special circumstances.
That's a good point. But yeah, you're right. You
Take a look
definitely
at
pay for it in terms of memory.
He's got lots of femto restoratives, so he's definitely going to be using his Mirage a lot, going to be able to pull that out a lot faster than most other people.
That's true. And of course, the signature Siegfried core, that is the Dandy Salad special. hard to use, but
very fast boost.
yeah, exactly. It's very fast, and
Not
you
a
can
great
pile it full of
light
weapons.
speed.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's got good boost, so if you could just keep that stamina up, maybe if you had a damage converter, this would be hellish to try and catch and kill if you were just trying to play keep away.
Yeah, I've been very curious about those damage converters. I see, like, Japanese players will have, like, one damage converter in their legs. And I've always wondered exactly how effective it is.
Something I run as well from time to time. Just because, obviously, taking damage is not great, but it's very good at working against punish builds and good for getting away from high damage opponents, just because you can... the moment they start doing a lot of damage to you, you can just get out of there.
That's fair. I mean, if you're going to take damage, you might as well get something out of the deal.
Yeah. And that Siegfried body gives a good amount of defense. The Flamberge legs contribute a lot of bullet and laser defense, as well as a fair bit of burn resistance, which is interesting.
Yeah, burn resistance, that's cool. I don't think that'll come into play today, but who knows?
Also giving
and Dandy's got a flamethrower up his sleeve somewhere.
Atlas gear. Yes.
Saren Thorn.
Downside is, if he gets stammed, he's gonna have a rough time.
Yeah, that's true. The Siegfried Core, there's no mercy. If you run out of stamina, you are gonna be stuck on the ground for a good amount of time.
It'll be interesting to see. That is an X-ray. Yeah. No, it's not. It's not. It's a Takemi. Yeah, so an interesting mix of laser and bullet weapons. Definitely very adaptable. If Ryzen chooses to run with the same loadout, he'll probably have maybe a slightly better chance with the laser weapons, but ultimately I don't think it's going to matter a huge amount.
True. Yeah, that is one of Dandy's strengths is the diversified offense. You can attack with a lot of different damage types and from a lot of different distances. So it's hard to escape him.
Jack of all trades. I guess in a way it kind of has the same ethos as my build, albeit PvP focused as opposed to PvE focused.
Oh, gotcha. No, I think. Oh yeah, fair enough. This is pretty much one of his standard builds, except for I believe the arms are different. But other than that, this is and the rifles, of course. But I believe that this is pretty much just another day at the park for Dandy.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That agreed. It's definitely been a successful venture so far. So I see no reason to deviate at this time.
Oop, and here comes Ryzen.
All right, Ryzen is back.
And I believe all we've got now is a coin flip before we get the show on the road.
Yep, true. All right, Dandy is going to call it. He's calling tails. I'm going to use the Google flipper here. And it's tails. All right, tails it is.
All right.
Airport is the choice. No surprise there.
Gotcha. Very good map, all in all. A bit open, but with just enough clutter to kind of be able to take advantage of it if things go ground-based.
That's right. And it has a single VP tank, which I like. I think that's makes for some pretty dynamic, interesting gameplay. Just gonna do one last once over. On these builds,
you can't run around going from tank to tank.
Yeah, right, exactly. It is not Factory 1.
Yeah, it's not Factory 1. It's not Snowy City.
Right. Yeah, there were only a few maps in our rotation that had a more than one BP tank. Most are 1 or 0. But anyway, here we go, guys. This is grand finals, the BBBB tournament. This is the last match. We have Ryzen.
Battle overlay time if you haven't already. Versus Dandy Salad. I say that because I almost forgot.
All right, guys. Oh wow, the very first thing
that VP tank is already popped.
Yeah, instantaneously. Okay, so Ryzen is...
Oh, Dandy.
They're both doing a little femto farming in the beginning there.
That's interesting.
It's definitely... So Ryzen is coming from loser's side, so he's going to have to win 2 sets if he wants to take this tournament down. So that's 6 games. That's a pretty tall order. But he definitely shows the potential to do this.
Dandy's making good use of his femto arms. I presume Ryzen is not changed in that regard either.
Not yet. He's doing a little less assault shifting this time, but I believe that's probably because Dandy's offense is so much more ferocious than Reginald's was at the time.
Yeah. Dandy's probably going to have a bit less consistent damage, but once he does get in there, he's going to do much more damage per burst.
Yeah, exactly. He's definitely, if there's a race, he's going to be winning it. But Ryzen's going to have to stay on his toes, try to keep, attack from awkward angles so that he does not get a repost from Dandy.
And these two are they're having an interesting spacing battle where Ryzen is very much trying to get into a sniper-favored spacing, whereas Dandy's pushing in, not getting right up in their face, but trying to get right in that Guilty Throne's optimal range, which is a kind of uncomfortable place for Ryzen with his snipers.
Yeah, true. Although, that being said, I mean, in this game, no matter what, the closer you are to your opponent, the more optimal for your firing strategy. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Ryzen to land those shots while mitigating damage against himself.
Indeed.
So far, good battle here, though. No major hits from the looks of it, but
Dandy losing his thumb there for a second.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he went to switch and he couldn't get back to his movement stick right in time. I think he took a couple glancing blows as we move into the second half here of this match. Actually, Dragoon, I'd say, aside from a few cases, most of the boss gear is actually pretty well balanced.
Yeah, I'd say I agree with that for the most part. Right. Ryzen staying somewhat central in this map. He is not moving too far. He's kind of waiting for Dandy to come to him. Dandy's doing a lot of swooping in and out, a lot of circling, whereas Ryzen is maintaining more of a stationary position, I would argue. But it was. He's moved about a bit now. But it looks like he is mostly the one trying to keep up with Dandy's movement as far as tracking is concerned.
Ooh. Dandy's legs just blew.
I saw some fire. Must have been those legs.
Yes. Let me check the durability of Flambear's legs, because that was very quick. I almost want to say they were damaged, but no, that looked like they were destroyed for me, so...
Well, I believe they pop when they get down to half, and then again when they get down to 0. So that could have been the halfway mark.
Yeah, that's why I say damage versus destroyed.
Gotcha.
That's how it's. I believe that's how it's notated in the end of mission report. Let's see, durability. They're fairly durable, so to break them, Ryzen must have done a pretty decent amount of damage all at once there. They're sparking like crazy. That isn't damage sparks. Those are dead sparks.
Well, that's certainly a big hit as we crossed into less than a minute left here in this match. Man, I can only imagine what these VP totals are looking like, because this has been a violent one. And
yeah, Dandy's not in the
still...
red, but if I had to guess... Dandy's probably at least somewhere between 50 to 70%. How do you think on your end?
Ryzen's looking relatively unscathed. I have not seen him take too many shots. He just now ran out of his fail not ammo, so only now is he swapping to the light throwers. Which indicates to me that he was a heavier defensive shield shift strategy this time rather than assault shift.
I think Dandy's having trouble switching his weapons optimally. He's juggling thumbs and it's not working out for him. There have been a couple times where he's tried to switch and he's just dead stopped, clearly not meaning to.
There we go, folks. Game 1. Ooh, Ryzen takes it.
Yeah.
Game 1 goes to Ryzen. Fantastic. Oh, Dandy is going to have to make an adjustment. Ooh, and by somewhat of a margin here.
On the money. 50% even.
Not bad at all. Okay, well that's a departure from the previous match between these two.
Head back into the hangar.
Yeah, Dandy took it down 2-1 in the last match, or the last time these two faced off in the tournament. So Ryzen clearly has made some adjustments, because that was a great fight.
Yeah, it's interesting. We saw a lot of just total complete wins. Lots and lots of 2-0s in day one. I think I almost want to say there was only one 2-1 in day one.
That sounds right.
There was only one 2-1 yesterday. So it's interesting. It's rare to lose by a thin margin, which is good, I guess. So let's take a look at how Andy's going to mix up the Sarenthorn.
Yep, true. Dandy also has the opportunity to change the map if he wants to. However, I have a feeling he won't. But I could be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong there.
He might benefit from some of the more chaotic areas where it's more difficult to take advantage of that long spacing that Ryzen wants.
Yeah, could be. Perhaps he wants the walls a little closer together.
Once the walls a little closer together, wants a few more obstacles. Let me actually double check our map list, see if there's anything. Downtown 1 would be the worst. Desert City 3 would be pretty good for him. Snowy City probably wouldn't be bad. He might be able to take advantage of Moonfall, but I think Ryzen would have the advantage there.
Yeah, possible. It's a tough call. I mean, airport is such a nice neutral area, and I don't know. It'd be pretty tough.
Let's see
what we got going on.
But the more buildings that he can keep in between him and Ryzen, and then just sort of whenever he sees the opportunity, that would probably be good. Force Ryzen to come a little closer, to be a little more opportunistic.
Right. Yeah, I could see that being relatively effective strategy. Looks like Dandy is putting a Lowenkrieger on his back. I don't know if he had that in the previous game, but I don't think so.
He did.
Oh, he did? Okay, never mind.
Shows what I know. Hasn't updated yet. The model itself doesn't update until they leave the central computer, so...
Right. Yep, you gotta exit all the way out, and then your arsenal pops back up. Let's see what we got here. Let me read the chat real quick. Sorry.
Yeah, both of them are making real good use of shifts clips. We got lots of people rooting for Ryzen here, it looks like. So
it's true.
Good to see he's risen to become a crowd favorite.
Everyone loves an underdog. And Ryzen is no exception here.
Oh yeah.
He came out of the woodwork and is giving everyone a run for their money. But Dandy's absolutely no slouch. He, as we all know, is a veteran of the scene. He is already known for his very unconventional builds. And so this is this is his home. He lives here. So it's going to be absolutely difficult to take him down.
Reginald, Boomgar, and Dandy are basically the holy trinity of the current competitive international community.
I'd say that's accurate. Boomgar got very far in this tournament as well.
Yes, very good, convenient.
But only 3 can make it.
I believe the quote from a German commander was, never mind. That doesn't apply so well now that I think of the exact quote.
All good.
But, yeah.
Alright, Danny is thinking real hard on this one.
Unfortunately, Drunken Master will only get you so far.
That is
And
fair.
yeah, I would say generally playing defensive is kind of the way to go. Just sort of try and wear the enemy out, wait for them to make a mistake, wait for them to slip up, and only then go in and try. Oh, here we go. So it looks like he's gone. He's just. Okay, he's switched his low end for an X-ray, which is going to be a very close-ranged weapon. Lots of damage at close range, very little damage at long range. Otherwise, he's switched his bullets to be first, so I think he's just trying to simplify the weapon switching process for himself. Get himself mixed up a little less, spend less time just sort of sitting there taking hits while he tries to sort his inventory. Interesting to see. A pair of slight changes, but if he can really capitalize on it.
Yeah, true. I see X-Ray, which I love to see. X-Ray is my favorite unsung hero that is typically outclassed by other laser guns.
Interesting to see a muzzle booster on the X-Ray, since obviously its effectiveness drops off pretty drastically after a certain range. Or
okay, so
the Takemi. It's one of them.
Looks like Dandy has gone with simulation for the second map. So we are in fact swapping.
Interesting. So he's giving a lot. He's giving Ryzen a lot of space to work with, but we've already seen Ryzen, as well as Reginald, both have difficulties keeping track of that map's ceiling as we move into this battle. Into combat.
Alright, game 2, grand finals. Dandy Salad versus Ryzen. Alright, Ryzen up 1 game. Let's see how Dandy does in this game 2.
And again, they're just sort of letting each other, having this little armistice while they get their femto up.
Yeah, that also feels like very Japanese style to me. But that's okay. I mean, you know, it's fair.
Kind of.
It's both players take the exact same advantage.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing is you can do that. The downside is your opponent gets that as well. So, you know, it's up to you.
Yep, calculated risk. All right, Dandy, right away swapping out one of the
but it depends on which AC you're talking about, because the earlier games had some pretty whack balancing.
Ooh, Dandy flirting with danger alongside that yellow wall there.
Now there is a name I have not heard in a long, long time. But yeah, again, just kind of a similar going on.
Yeah,
Ryzen has always making good use of spacing, but or at least he's trying to, but Dandy's being very aggressive, trying to get into his discomfort zone.
All those short exchanges, I mean, they do a smart thing, which is they only seem to exchange fire as they, you know, come within very close proximity of one another. However, in those exchanges, it seems that Ryzen is getting a little bit of the better of him.
Yeah, Ryzen has he has an uncanny sense for when he should shield, which means even when he takes just a full broadside from Dandy, he's only taking a fraction of the damage. Same thing happened with Reginald.
Right. Yep, that is true. He's wise with that. I mean, that's the traditional sniper style, is you take a shot and you pop shield instantly, which is it's cool. It's a very excellent combination of offense and defense. All right, Dandy trying to keep a bead on Ryzen, but Ryzen is not making it easy.
Yeah.
All right, halfway point. And he's flipping through all of his femtorms.
I'd say out of everyone we've seen in this tournament, Ryzen has probably the best sense for defense, period. His shields are almost on point. I've seen maybe one good, solid burst that ever got through his shield in the past 2 matches. And of course, he's very mobile. He's very evasive.
Yeah, that is absolutely a skill. I mean, integrating those shifts into your game and knowing exactly when to pop them is not. It's not simple. It definitely takes some learning, and he learned it quick. He is making the most of them. That's definitely one way to. That's how you know you're leveling up. Is that when you start shifting all the time, that's you have achieved the next level of your gameplay.
Yeah, ARs have trouble with shields, but unfortunately, stuff like bazookas or maces that would normally have a good advantage versus shields fall victim to Ryzen's just ridiculous mobility.
And I think also what this partially means by that too is that Dandy cannot make as effective use of shields because his weapons are all burst fire, so he's not doing the single shot strategy that Ryzen is doing. And of course, as we know, when you fire your weapon, it turns off your shield. So.
Yes. The way Ryzen's playing right now, I think if Dandy doesn't start to make a comeback here, he's going to have to start making more drastic changes to his build to try and specifically counter Ryzen's very defensive strategy. He's going to need something to try and knock that shield out, or something to try and punish.
Right. Yep. He's gonna have to change something up. But that being said, I'm not exactly sure how this one's shaping up, and we've only got 15 seconds left. So this could be going either way.
We're about to find out.
It's time, folks. Shards of shield everywhere. Oh wow, okay.
Honestly, Eclipse, if he could pick up... Yeah.
Ryzen.
So that's the first match of Grand Finals.
The second...
This
is the second match, in fact.
Game of Finals.
I think Ryzen's up 2-0.
If I'm not mistaken, he's 2-0.
Yeah, wow. So Ryzen just needs one more to take it down and reset this Grand Finals bracket. If Ryzen wins this next match, they will go to a next first of 3.
Gotcha.
So you're right. Dandy is going to have to make some kind of adjustment here. But you're right. That was very close. That was a very close fight.
If I were to make any recommendations, I might try something like Rampage Hammer, or even Trap Mines. Just anything that you can fire and forget that will have some sort of AoE effect that will hinder Ryzen's ability to be mobile.
Right. Yeah, I know Danny's been running pretty much just this one build for the majority of the tournament, if not the whole tournament, so I don't expect any sweeping changes. I do expect possibly a map change, or possibly some minor adjustments, but if I had to guess, I would guess that Dandy's going to stick with his guns for the most part.
Again, he just can't give Ryzen that much free space to just run and hide without having to worry about collisions or line of sight or anything like that. Ryzen is a master of spacing. Dandy really needs to get some more complex environments working to his advantage.
Yes, true. Perhaps this is the time to start looking for a place with maybe a little more cover, maybe somewhere you can get in and out of without taking fire while he's making his movements around.
might turn into an even more defensive game, but the thing is, Ryzen is just so good at using the core mechanics of movement to create a lot of distance and to create the right amount of distance. And I think it might be worthwhile for Dandy to, I guess, to try and quiz Ryzen on his ability to actually navigate more complex environments and have to think about not only his movement, but the collision around him.
True. Yeah, trying to, in essence, just giving him more to think about overall. Having it be a less direct path between him and his opponent. Ooh, Dandy.
Yeah,
Dandy is choosing Moonfall.
Ah, interesting. So that's a little better than Simulation in that regard, but it's still pretty open, so we'll see how he works this out.
Well, the horizontal space is much smaller in Moonfall. That is, I think that may be what he's looking for.
This is true.
It is a very vertical map. There's not a whole lot of lateral motion that can be made.
Much more vertical, which the actual difference in boost speed tends to... There's less of a difference in boost speed on the Z-axis.
Right. Yeah, and you're also being affected by gravity, so it's just simply much harder to navigate in your typical fashion. But yeah, as far as the width, this will likely make it a little more difficult for Ryzen to escape those burst fire weapons that Dandy's running right now.
Yeah, still very open though, so we'll see.
That is true.
What's interesting about Moonfall that a lot of people forget is that it essentially has two different spaces as far as collision. You've got the upper space that has destructible bridges, which can provide cover but can also be hazards in the same way that destructible buildings can. Whereas the bottom area is a lot more open, and you'd be surprised in a lot of matches how often that little bowl at the bottom comes up. It's an interesting bit of collision that makes for some neat gameplay under the right circumstances, although I don't know if it's going to come into play with this matchup.
Right. Wait, those bridges are destructible? Sure. I didn't know that.
Yes, they are.
Oh, that's awesome. I had no idea. I've never seen one destruct. That's cool.
Well, most of the fighting usually takes place in the lower half, where there's not so much anything, really.
Yeah, right. There's a lot less going on down there.
Dragoon. It is gray, high buildings, Moonfall bridges, Moonfall platforms, and I think something else that are destructible. Not counting, of course, the doors. Interestingly, and granted this is probably the most unused mechanic because it's probably the most unused weapon type, but railguns are actually capable of overpenetrating those destructible structures. You can shoot right through them, the projectile will keep on and hit stuff behind it. Of course... Oh, interesting. So he's going with a radar jammer. So I guess he's going to try and make it more difficult for Ryzen to keep track of him. He's going to try and disorient him some.
Oh, and he swapped his legs out too, for something a little more sturdy.
Remains to be seen. Yeah, he's back to alone. Oh, this is true. So it looks like he's probably just going to try and get in his face. Probably pop Mirage, I would hope, because obviously radar jammers on their own are poorly implemented. I really wish they'd just turn off your radar instead of making it fuzzy. But
yeah, that would be nice. I mean, it's not. It's
light systems.
Yeah, radar jammer is. I think it can be effective with Mirage in some cases. I think, especially one thing that did impress me is that with missiles such as Brinicle, it doesn't do a great job of hiding arsenal position, but I think it actually does a pretty significant job of hiding missile position. But Dandy at this time is not rocking missiles, so I do expect we may see a Mirage or three
combat. I would debate that. But I'm also a radar nut, so, you know.
Fair. All right, here we go.
Oh,
This is game 3, Dandy Salad versus Ryzen. If Ryzen takes this one down, this will be a bracket reset, and we will be going into a whole new set of grand finals.
Yeah. And he's immediately popped one of his... I forget how many charges the radar jammer comes with. I think it's either 3 or 5. But he's immediately popped it with Mirage and then run out of Femto. A bit of initial fighting up in the first half, but then pretty quickly moved down to the lower half, which is usually how this map goes.
Yeah, Ryzen.
Yes, it's 5. Thank you, Dragoon.
Circling the bull right now. All right. Looks like Ryzen is
down to, I believe, 3 charges left.
Well, it's actually one nice thing about Mirage as well is that the Mirage loves to use that radar chamber, so you can save your own ammo a little bit in that regard.
This is true. That's actually applies to a lot of auxiliary items.
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to move your overlay back to combat so people can see the timeline.
Yeah, they love just shooting splendors at everything. All right, so it's hard to tell exactly what's going on. It looks like Ryzen is a bit on the chase, and he is sticking really close to that center structure. He is doing a great job of keeping that between himself and Dandy. Oh, but Dandy is landing some pretty significant shots here.
Yeah, moment I get your overlay. Can you hear me?
Oh, what's up? Sorry.
Your overlay is still on the hangar version.
Oh, you're right. Thank you. Yep.
Here
we go. Combat overlay. This is the action overlay.
Yes.
Much nicer. For battle. Alright. Okay, Ryzen, that looked like a pretty good shot there. But I feel Ryzen is definitely getting hit a lot more this time than he has been in previous matches.
Yeah, Dandy's made surprisingly good use of that radar jammer, although he's almost out if he isn't entirely. He's really going to be relying on Mirage jammers.
Yep, true. And this map choice seems to have, as far as I can tell, seems to be great, because Ryzen is just trapped in this cylinder with Dandy and his Mirage, and there's not many places to go.
Exactly what I said. Try and get Ryzen trapped up in some more sophisticated geometry. And so now, you know, Ryzen's bumping into things, he's getting his escape vectors blocked.
Oh yeah, a quick
he's less
landing on that bridge.
And he's also, and Dandy's got more stuff to hide behind if he has to lose the spacing advantage.
Yeah, right. That's exactly.
I believe he's just stemmed out there.
That's, I think that's what he sees and he's doing. Oh no, I think Dandy's out of stamina. That can't be good.
Yes, he is, and it took a long time for him to get it back.
That is the curse of
the damage
Siegfried.
done there. He's not in the red yet. Nothing seems to be broken, and on my client, he didn't get hit all that much, but he did take some hits there. He did take some damage. That's going to hurt him.
Yeah, I think one of the downsides of Ryzen's build is that his offense is very narrow, so punishment opportunities, it's difficult to make the most of them. Since all you've got are fail nuts and light pillars, you don't have a big burst of damage to really punish his stamina out. But regardless, that still looked very painful. It still looked like it was like a few good shots in there.
For sure. I believe this has to be Dandy Salad's last charge in his radar jammer. So.
Oh yeah, he's been making. Yeah, you're right. He's been making great use of that.
Yeah.
All right, about 30 seconds left here. Ryzen still has not run out of ammo with those fail nuts. He's not felt compelled to swap to light pillars. Last time it happened at around 20 seconds remaining, so we'll see if that proves true this time as well. Oh no.
Yeah, that's usually been the case.
Oh, here we go. There's the
again,
swap.
he's had so much. Yeah, he's had so much fewer chances to get solid hits in on Dandy, so... oh, interesting. I'm gonna have to check... Hold on, let me check Radar Jammer. Could have just looked it up on...
Alright, here we go.
Whatever.
About to find out how this went.
Who is it gonna be?
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Ryzen. Ryzen with the
So we're gonna
3-0
be
victory in the first set of Grand Finals. Holy cow.
moving in.
Yeah.
Back to the hangar, but, wow.
86,
yeah,
72.
if Dandy didn't get stemmed out there, he might have had a chance to bring it back.
Oh, good point. That stamina out. That might have made the whole... That might have been the whole fight, basically.
Pretty much. If Dandy wants to take a screenshot of his damage over the match, oh well. But whatever. Let's see. 12. I misremembered. I knew it had more ammo than I was thinking of. Because you can actually keep it running for a while. Radar Jammer has 12 charges, so 12 charges over 5 minutes with, what's the duration again? 15 seconds. Should be easy math. Yeah, so he can, if he wanted to, he could keep that radar jamming going for 3 consecutive minutes with only small breaks in between as it cools off and charges up again. But let's see if, as we move into the next round, is everything reset, or are we still treating it as
yes, no, it is a new set, and I
Dandy's
believe there's a
news?
little bit of confusion. There is actually one more set, guys. This is a double elimination tournament, so if you have not lost yet, you are still in the winner's bracket until the very end. And then once you lose, you are put in the loser's bracket. And since Dandy has not lost yet, the bracket has been reset. So there is but one more first to 3, best of 5 encounter between these two fighters. No worries,
So
guys.
it
It's
must
all
be a
good.
little-
It's a little confusing.
Yeah, so I guess now they both have a chance to modify their build if they want to, and we've got a coin flip.
True, that's true. And we will give Dandy the coin flip as well. I assume he will probably pick tails again,
Yeah.
but let's...
Although at this juncture, I doubt Ryzen wants to change things up too much.
Yeah, no, he definitely has no need to at this point. He's proving that his strategy is a winning one.
Let's see if Dandy can cook something up to try and counteract it and put the pressure on that particular build, force him to switch off to something a little less comfortable.
Yep, he might. He's gonna have to make some sort of adjustment, either in gameplay or in build, because at the moment, Ryzen seems to have the advantage here in this particular matchup.
Indeed.
Dandy's
Indeed.
calling heads. Let me do my Google flip here. Heads. All right, it's heads. So Dandy will once again be able to select the map. 3 maps so far in Grand Finals. 3 matches, 3 maps in that first fight.
Yeah, interesting to see.
Eclipse, I think you are correct. I don't think anyone has come back from the losers finals. But Dandy has been capable of amazing things in the past, so I would not put it past him to be the one who makes that a thing.
You never know. And yes, Don Vapor, this is a Switch tournament. We did have one PC tournament. Unfortunately, the PC community is a bit dead right now, but you know, stick around, it might make a comeback. I would absolutely love to see, honestly, the PC community make a comeback, but unfortunately, to my knowledge, they still have not fixed the issue with finding games, which has made people not want to commit because they can't get into randoms. Oh, we should switch.
All right, the region-locked matchmaking is unfortunate. And hello, Don Vapor. What's up, guys? Yes, Pokefan is right. This is Switch.
Still region-locked matchmaking. And still no news on that damn Radiant Gleam model. I mean, I can't afford it, but I want it anyways. I want to know it's still going.
Oh yeah, it looks pretty cool.
I actually sent an email to Koto Bukia recently. Been checking everything. Nope, still no reply. How did I know? But yeah, every few months I put a line out to Kotobukiya through different channels, and I've yet to receive any sort of reply on the topic.
Gotcha.
And yeah, if you're on PC, personally, I mean, obviously because the Switch community tends to be bigger, the community Discord is mostly Switch players, but hang out around there, you can still get some people who will match you on PC. Just generally a good place to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, PC community is small but pretty dedicated, and despite having region locked matchmaking, you can still usually find someone to play with. Obviously, nights and weekends are a little easier than Tuesday at 4 p.m. But there's a good number of players hanging out on PC. Oh, by the way, guys.
Anyone knows.
Sorry, speaking of PC, let me just shout this out real quick. A player in our Discord, Lichtmare, is actually going to be hosting a PC Fight Night tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is about 4 hours and 20 minutes from this very from this very moment. And everyone who is interested in that, please check it out. Lichtmare is doing a real good thing, trying to put together some fights, and I highly recommend, if you are on the Discord, check it out. And if you're not on the Discord, get on the Discord, come chill with us. You'll have a good time, and you'll learn a lot about the game, and it's cool.
Yeah, let me drop the link in chat, and while that happens, it's still being worked on, but it looks like Dandy's considering bringing some snipers himself. He's got a beluga beam there, which is interesting.
Okay. I believe
like a similar idea to what Reggie had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. I believe in the past, I'm not sure if it was during the tournament, but Dandy in the past has used a beluga beam Take Mikazuchi loadout, if I'm not mistaken. Which also is a missile team special from back in the day.
That's a name I haven't heard in a while. How is he doing?
Oh, he's good. Good. Still kicking everyone's ass. Yeah, he's a strong player.
We did not ban Melee, Don Vapor. We only banned Anfang, and because everyone is babies and the only Melee they want is Anfang, we haven't seen a whole lot of Melee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did have a very interesting build. There was a player named Ray Shadow who actually got very far in the tournament running a Hermes Dainsleaf Erendite build, which was super unconventional, but did a great job. That one was really fun to watch. I enjoyed seeing that.
Honestly, I'm going to say it, I think more people, if they've got a free spot on their pylon, need to pick up energy blades, because they're super light and they don't consume any energy they don't consume any memory when they're on their pylon. So they're very inexpensive to bring in terms of any of the resources you need.
Yeah, bringing a single Baldur's Edge 1 is a very popular strategy, even in unrestricted PvP, because it's really great for punishing stamina outs and VP tanks and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not very sustainable, but it's a nice little sucker punch if someone's backed you in a corner and thinks you're helpless. Baldur's Edge 2 as well, more for co-op, just because lower health counts, but because it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. But Baldur's Edge 2 with some femto optimizers is a pretty good backup weapon, just for general purpose, because it doesn't suck up much femto, it doesn't eat much memory, it's very light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I love. In fact, laser swords are completely unregulated in this tournament, and the very popular competitive combination of Prominence and CS, Claim Solish, is totally legal. But we saw zero laser blades in this tournament, except for on the first day, Ryzen had a Baldur's Edge 2 on his back, on his pylon. But other than that, there have been zero.
I'm gonna say it. Laser blades are, I think, the only melee category that is actually balanced.
I'd say so.
Blades, Anfang is just the best. If you discount Anfang, you know, it's all very tier based. You've got, what was it, the starter one?
Prominence.
No, I'm talking, because if you're talking blades, not laser blades.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant laser.
Yes. So you've got the, the Buster Doom, which is like the low tier one that basically no one uses. You've got Noble Pride, which is a bit better, and it's basically sometimes people use it. And then above that, you've got Excalibur, which you do actually see from time to time. Then Daneslafe, which is generally just better than that if you want damage in just general utility. Then Anfang Argur, which is totally broken. And that's basically all the blades, each in their own tier, one above the other.
Yeah, right. It does seem like a very linear progression with solid blades, rather than each having, you know, varying stats that you're trying to optimize for.
Yeah, swords. You've got Habakiri, which is generally the best for co-op, just because you get lots and lots of chains. Murakumo used to be interesting, but now that Ohabari exists, it's basically obsolete. Vargareed technically has a few advantages over Initium, but Initium, you know, when you have that much wind-up, you need the range to compensate. But the laser blades all have their own distinct niche. None of them is like objectively better than the other, which is
right. They're all viable.
You've got
is
Prominence,
really cool.
which is Prominence is a good all around. Baldur's Edge is like high risk, high reward. Sorry about that.
Oh, good. Okay, guys, here we go.
This is.
Sorry. Here we go. This is going to be set 2,
okay.
Grand Finals of the BBBB tournament. This is going to be Dandy Salad and Ryzen. The winner of this first to 3 set is going to take down the whole thing. So this is it, folks. This is the final stretch.
Overlay. Yep.
All right, here we go. Dandy Salad versus Ryzen. Dandy Salad is hopping right into that femto field and start gathering it up.
Yep, Rob, overlay.
Oh, yep, overlay. Thanks. Alright, Grand Finals. Got Dandy. Dandy is using those femto shits. Switching to, it looks like he's, in the beginning, he was popping Assault right away, which is, I didn't see a whole lot of Assault shit in the previous game. But,
That's what I've seen a lot. From Dandy is he likes to get a few early shots into Assault just to see if he can get some decent damage with some chips. He's pulling out missiles.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice.
Get a
It
good
looks
look
like
at
he's a
his abilities.
Thunderbird
Is
1M.
that a Thunderbird?
Yeah, Thunderbird 1M if I'm not mistaken. Or no, it's not the M. I'm sorry. It looked yellow to me for a second. But that is
It might be the gold version.
Oh yeah, you've got the gold one rocking.
Yeah, the Thunderbird 1, very underrated missile launcher. I'd say it's generally better for PvE, just because you can take advantage of the multi-lock, but that simultaneous launch is... It's serious. It
Yeah, the reason
if you get up close with it.
The simultaneous launch is awesome because, unlike Thunderbird 2, which is probably the most popular missile behind Brinnicle, the simultaneous launch allows you to take advantage of your shifts. Because if you're firing a salvo from Thunderbird 2, and they fire one at a time rather slowly, you can't just pop your shift in between. However, this, you can fire all at once and then immediately transition into shield shift or wing shift, and without it interfering with your movement.
The only downside is that aside from that, although none of its stats are especially bad, it also doesn't really excel at anything.
True. It does seem, although in this case, I believe the reason Dandy has brought it along is because it is known to be somewhat effective as a shield breaker. So if he can land a couple of those missiles and take down a layer of that shield shift, that might be the damage difference that he needs to make up in these fights.
I wonder if ammo can keep up though, because one of the downsides of Thunderbird 1 is if you're popping out missiles very often, it will eat through ammo. Those simultaneous launches, you know, they put out a lot of damage, but they also put out a lot of ammo.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, Thunderbird 1, a lot of times you see it be completely barren of missiles once about halfway through the match. But he's being relatively sparing here. He's not going crazy with these missiles. He's just firing just enough from the looks of it.
Yeah. Locks up to 8 missiles at once, and if I'm not mistaken, it has assuming he hasn't modded out for ammo, it's got a base max ammo of 120. Yeah, that's right.
Alright, we're under 2 minutes here. It looks, if I had to guess, I would say that Dandy has landed a few more shots this time around than in previous games.
Yeah. Dandy seems like he's having a hard time hitting, which is interesting.
Well, that has sort of been the story of this match so far, is that Ryzen is just a tricky guy to pin down. He has been highly evasive, highly maneuverable, not taking a lot of pings from this weapon lineup. Although Dandy does have the Beluga in his primary hand, so we'll see what kind of difference that makes. Oh, Ryzen with a little bit of a dangerous blink there, but no harm done.
Come to think, I also wonder if maybe blitzes wouldn't be useful against Ryzen. You know, they can follow him down, punish him if he stays in wing shift too long, start chipping down that shield, and of course, if he wants to take them out, he has to drop shield and wing. Yeah, I think the most important factor they would offer is that they would just eat shots that were intended for Dandy. But that's
in
also
this case,
very true.
Yeah, in this case, well, we'll see. We're coming up down to the last 10 seconds of the game, and Dandy is doing his best to keep Ryzen in his sights. But it's hard to say.
In that case, Ryzen might also benefit from blitzes. However, he gets a lot of speed from not having shoulder weapons, and blitzes aren't especially light.
That's true.
Yep.
Oh wow!
Ryzen
Okay.
takes another one. He's just sweeping the board today.
Ryzen is getting another chalk mark on Ryzen's side of the board. 95%. Wow, this man is tough to hit.
Yeah, neither of them could really hit each other.
Well, Ryzen was able to hit Dandy at least a couple more times than Dandy was able to hit him.
If you remember.
So that,
If you remember, back in the day, Daisuke did some real work with blitzes. So we head back to the hangar here.
Damn, alright.
Yeah, Daisuke and someone else got really good with blitzes. Could use them really effectively. Honestly, I think Daisuke's builds and strats, you know, putting aside individual player skill or whatever, if it's just two people using their strat, the same arsenals that they had, they'd have a good chance. Eclipse, you say anything you don't like is trash. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it ain't trash. Doesn't mean it's trash.
Let me talk in here real quick.
And after all, you like me and I'm trash. But well, Hammer is trash, but it makes up for it for being a big meme.
Alright, so Dandy is going to have to make a change here. Ryzen's strategy is proving to be just difficult to take down.
Yeah.
So Dandy has an opportunity to change the map again and to alter his build again, if that is what he would like to do. Hey doggo, what's up? Doggo.
I'm gonna steal your dog.
Doggo's confused.
Take him to the gremlin corner.
No. There she goes. Yep. And this is proving to be quite a struggle.
Indeed.
I'm trying to think of how the game went differently during the normal bracket, because Dandy was able to take him out in a fight. So, not sure. Maybe he can try to recapture the magic from last Saturday, but otherwise, Ryzen is 2 games away from taking down this entire tournament.
Indeed. I guess that's something else that's good for missiles is, especially active missiles that are very bright and easy to follow. Is they're a lot of times if I'm dealing with very mobile opponents, I kind of think of them like bloodhounds. Like if you get a Thunderbird 2, a good lock with that, with a lot of missiles coming out, they will follow them very closely. Not hit them maybe, but it's very difficult to lose track of them when, even 8 seconds after you've hit the fire button, you've got a thing coming out that points straight to them.
That's true. And Thunderbird 2 is one of the highest homing abilities. I think that's part of the reason it's like a great weapon. I think it's a little bit of an undervalued weapon. It's hard to compete with Brinicle, of course, so it's a little bit hard to justify anything, any missile over Brinicle. But Thunderbird 2, I think, is one of the real answers, and could be an option here.
It's an interesting weapon, I will say that. It's not my preferred, but I've seen people put it to very good use.
Yep, love seeing it. That's Meg. I don't know if Meg is still using it, but he was the first one who I saw really make it very effective. And then since then, I've seen it a few times.
I see it from time to time. I guess while we wait, you want another pop quiz?
Sure.
There is one class and one type of melee weapon that has an unused alternate model. Which is it?
That is
and this one will be pretty easy for anyone who's...
Oh, sorry. No, I spoiled it. I think I know the answer to that.
But you are correct. There is a quote-unquote wide version of the default Energy Blade model. Prominence actually shares its model with Baldur's Edge and Baldur's Edge 2. It's just a shader and some particles that give them the different colors.
Yeah, right. They've all got that Darth Vader hilt going on. Alright, so Dandy is selecting Snowy City. So this is a departure from the previous. This actually is, seems like, interesting choice.
That's something I think he'll be able to take advantage of.
Right, because as we talked about, punishment potential on Ryzan's build is not as strong as some of the others. So if Dandy can make the most of the map here, then that could turn the tide in this fight. What have we got here? Ooh.
Dandy's just looking at his build, so he's taken the missile off, he's taken one of his pylons off. Oh, Salvation Ray. Interesting.
Yeah,
so I think, his plan here is just, I think, kind of to go for broke with those Salvation Ray hits.
I think so too. Yeah, this is definitely going to close the gap, or help close the gap between the damage, between Dandy's damage and Ryzan's damage. Because Ryzen has been making the most of those fire exchanges, but with the Salvation Ray, now you're cooking. All right, here we go. This is going to be Game 2 of the final set of Grand Finals. Ryzen is up 1 game.
He could put us in the deuce right here.
That's true. The onus is on Dandy to tie it up and stop the runaway freight train that is Ryzen. Alright, here we go.
And Dandy's just getting right in there. He's not letting him get his femto. He is out for blood.
Oh yeah. Right, his femto will be considerably less necessary for Dandy this time, since he has one laser weapon in Salvation Ray, but femto is typically not a huge concern in that particular weapon.
Right, not if you're using it right.
Oh, building got taken down.
Well,
ooh. Got shot behind him as they were passing. Oh, Dandy is flying.
Also convenient. Bonus breaks are actually blades, not laser blades, and although they do laser damage, they do not consume femto.
That is true. Okay.
Which honestly kind of makes them fit into the laser blade paradigm pretty well, because they don't consume femto, but they take fucking forever to swing.
I feel Dandy losing the missile and losing a second armament. I don't know how much the speed has increased, but it looks like he's going a lot faster. And I think this is, you can tell also because Ryzen is using a lot more wing shift in previous games. And I think he's doing that because he has to do so.
Yeah, I think he's a bit faster, and he's also boosting a lot more aggressively this time.
Yeah, perhaps this is a little more true to the Dandy that we know, which is just like very chaotic, very just unpredictable movement, very hard to keep track of. So perhaps this weapon loadout is more sympathetic to that style.
He's learned his lesson. He does not want Ryzen to get that distance advantage. He does not want him to keep spacing. He is staying right up on him.
Halfway through this match, Ryzen busting out the assault shift. So maybe he's trying to make up the damage difference here.
Eclipse Convenient was talking about the Cronus breaks.
Alright, here we go. So Ryzen is sort of he's a slight departure from his previous strategy. He had been moving around the map pretty regularly, but now he's kind of found this area that he likes. He's hanging out there. Dandy is swooping in and out of that area, trying to land his shots. I see Salvation Ray lasers flying about.
Dandy,
careful.
like we discussed, he wants him to get into the more chaotic and hectic areas where he can't take advantage of that spacing, and I think Ryzen has realized what Dandy's trying to do and is taking advantage of that limited but still very open space that he likes so much. However, because that area is fairly limited, he's also kind of forced to stay in close proximity with Dandy. So he's making the best of the situation, but it's a bit of a lose-lose.
Yep, that's true. Well, this so far though, as far as I can tell, this does seem like a more competitive match than the others. I don't know what Ryzen's health is looking like, but it looks like he has been forced into a less comfortable style of play than in previous games.
Absolutely. And Dandy is clearly having a field day with this.
Yeah, Dandy is in his element now. Oh, we can tell. Okay, so we switched to the light pillars about 20 seconds earlier than usual, which is interesting. So he's been blasting away. That means he's been really letting fly with those fail knots.
More aggressive games lead to generally more aggressive ammo dumping.
It's true.
And this is probably the most aggressive game we've seen all day.
Yeah, I would agree with that. This is a fast and furious battle so far. Alright, we're coming down to the wire here. This time it's very suspenseful. Kept in suspense here. That was a crazy one.
This is aggressive relative to what we've been seeing, Eclipse.
Ooh, okay. Dandy, able to turn it around. It looks like the map or the loadout or the gameplay change.
That's what I'm telling you. It was a close margin. But that's what I'm saying. He needed to cut down on Ryzen's nice, big, open, safe space that he likes. He needed to bring in that level of chaos. He needed to be able to use both cover and generally just map borders to try and box Ryzen in and take away those open air spaces he loves so much. And yes, Dragoon, that is me. I am the original member of Muso Gang.
Damn, that was a cool fight. And yeah, completely different.
Hell yeah.
Different atmosphere from the other fights. That was that.
Ooh.
So now it's
while you get
Ryzen.
set up with Ryzen, I'm gonna be right back.
No problem. Ryzen is selecting simulation. Alright, so back to the grid we go. I can find it. There we go. Alright. Let's wait for PokeFan to come back and we can swap teams and we'll get started. Sorry, Dragoon. I think I just want to let this one play. Kind of planned this one out. I don't know. I thought that was really exciting. Eclipse is over here complaining. I thought that was a really exciting match. I was like on the edge of my seat the whole time. You don't know who's gonna win. Alright, it looks like we are taking a 30-second intermission here, maybe a little longer. I think everyone is taking a sec to chill out and mellow out a little bit. Actually, speaking of which, I will also be back in just 1 second, guys. Ryzen and Poke and Dandy are taking a minute, so once they're back, we will get started. BRB 1 sec.
I'm back. Terribly sorry. You there? Ah, he's also gone. Cool. Well, hey chat, how are you doing? Yeah, he's got the same build. Same build. Oh, I think I heard him.
All right. Back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Back, everyone. All right.
So it looks like no one's switching up their build. I presume Ryzen chose simulation then?
That is correct. Ryzen's taking a sec. I think he will be back in just a second.
Gotcha. Yeah, obviously a good call on Ryzen's part. It's very clear what sort of environments they want. I get the feeling if Ryzen takes this one, Dandy's again going to push it to something like Desert City 3 or Snowy City. Try and push that same advantage.
Yeah, exactly. Factory 1 might also be a good option.
Ryzen's got...
What's up?
That's still very open, but...
Well, actually, I mean, so far, I think Dandy has made the most advantage of maps with cover. Because in Airport, Simulation, and Moonfall, Ryzen won all of them. But in Snowy City, Dandy was able to take it down, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that he can move closer to Ryzen in between the buildings, in between the bridges and all that, and those will be taking Ryzen's damage instead of him.
Exactly, that's what I was talking about. I think if he loses this, it's definitely going to be a more close-up match next round, or a more close-up map next round. However, at this point, Ryzen's got the point lead, and even in those close quarters fight, he's really going to make Dandy fight for it, so Dandy's going to have to pull some stuff off if he wants to make it back and have his comeback.
Alright, here we go. Looks like Ryzen is ready. Welcome back, Ryzen. Back, Dandy.
Indeed.
Back
into combat.
Alright, we have Game 3 in the final set of the final match. This is Grand Finals BBBB tournament. The score is 1-1. Dandy was able to turn it around in that last one after a pretty clean sweep by Ryzen in the very first set. So we will see what this one is looking like.
Once again, just sort of letting each other get that femto, which I don't know if that's good for Dandy, because, actually...
Well, Dandy does have the restoratives, so he is, by sitting perfectly still, he is gaining more out of it than Ryzen is. Because I do not believe Ryzen has anything.
That is true. But it's interesting that he was just standing there.
Very curious.
And yeah, this is a real bad map for Dandy. If he could win and tie things up a little better, get things moving in his direction as far as counter picks.
Right. This will be proof of concept of that
right
weapon
now,
loadout, too. Because
indeed,
they have fought on this map a few times before, but not with these particular weapons.
So I don't think we get to call Ryzen an underdog anymore, right? I think he's proven he can play with the big dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, he's the overdog. He has definitely ascended during this tournament. He is absolutely a force to be reckoned with, without question.
Oh yeah, definitely one to keep an eye on for the future.
That's true. All right, Dandy is rushing him down. Here, Dandy, heavy use of wing shift right now. Just trying to stay in his face from the looks of it.
For sure. I think he's learned that he cannot give Ryzen an inch. He needs to stay on Ryzen.
Absolutely.
He needs to keep that pressure on. He cannot let him have that distance he wants.
Yeah,
he can't
Ryzen
give him
with
time to regenerate his shield.
Nice blink there. That's something that Ryzen has blinked, clearly, but very rarely does he actually fire it off. So, at least in this set...
Well, in singles, you don't generally want to fire it off too much, because it's not that hard to track, unless you do some real wild, like, Mirage plus radar jammer shenanigans. It's more useful in doubles, just because there's more to keep track of, and it's easier to lose the enemy.
Well, I must disagree with you slightly there. I think Blink is incredible even in 1v1. And in my opinion, I think people should pretty much be firing it up all the time. But then again, I'm no expert.
Well,
it's just my feeling.
I mean, I do think it's incredible. What I'm saying is, on most cores, you're going to burn through a lot of stamina doing that. It's a big risk, especially if you're going up against someone with a punish loadout, and you're kind of relying on them not immediately spotting you, which at the low level, you can do blink shenanigans and just dance circles around people, but at this high level, people are watching their radars, people are keeping track of where you blink. It's a bit more difficult to really push the advantage out of it outside of a few spots, like we're seeing with Ryzen, where he sees the opportunity to really make an advantageous blink.
Alright, well, we're coming up with 1 minute, 20 seconds left, and Dandy is still on the chase. I saw exactly what you were mentioning earlier. He did have a bit of a trouble swapping out that weapon. He put the other one away, but I think he's used to just having a weapon on that pylon, and since he's one shy this time, he's only got 3, so he was empty-handed for a moment there.
This is why you play with a claw grip. 4 fingers is not enough.
No, that is true. Not enough. Ooh, got a good charge there.
Temporary if treated properly. Victory is eternal.
Eternal victory. Actually, yeah, I'm noticing a slight anti-synergy between Dandy's build is that Salvation Ray, while you're charging it, you obviously cannot use your shifts unless you're already in Assault Shift. However, Dandy is pretty heavily reliant on Wing Shift due to that Siegfried core, so I wonder if that is interfering slightly with his mobility.
That is true, and it's interesting to see that Dandy has spotted that Ryzen snipers are out of ammo, so now he's the one playing the distance game. He's the one pushing for more range, which is a nice adaptation.
He might even have, that might be indicative of him having the advantage, actually.
Yeah, and those light pillars, no.
No, that was not the case.
Those light pillars do not have a very fast muzzle velocity.
Wow, Ryzen. This man is just impossible to nail down.
Those big open spaces. Ryzen can just run circles around you in those big open spaces. You need to box him in.
Alright, so this is going to be... Ryzen is up 2-1 now in the last set of Grand Finals. If he takes one more game, he is going to be the BBBB tournament champion. So let's see what Dandy decides here. I'm definitely expecting a map change, but we'll see if any changes follow that one.
Place your bets. I want to put 3 cans of Femto Light. He goes to Snowy City again.
Oh no, Dandy is sticking with it. Dandy is he has no desire to make any changes here. And that whole fight was on the hangar overlay.
Really?
I forgot.
Oops.
Gosh. Well, it's okay. Still was a great fight. Still very exciting.
Oh yeah. Interesting. So he really wants to push simulation, huh?
Mm-hmm. Wow. So Dandy wants to go at it again.
Wow. This is a bold choice. I wonder if this is almost like suicide, like he just wants to get it over with, because this is not a good matchup for him.
It could be. This is definitely a frustrating affair. I could definitely see this being just getting in your head, because Ryzen is just not making it easy. He's a very evasive, difficult man to shoot.
Yeah. If Ryzen wins this, he's won it all. So
this could potentially be the final game of the tournament, but we'll see if Dandy can take this one last opportunity to even it up and take this to a 5th game.
See, I wonder what Dandy's doing. Keeping his distance, letting his Femto build slowly. If I were Dandy right now, I would be pushing to get some early hits in, to get really to try and get Ryzen scared, get him away from that Femto zone. Try and keep him from getting a lot of Femto early on, so he has to more carefully balance his shifts.
Right. Yeah, Dandy has the potential to bully Ryzen, to force him, to move when he doesn't want to move necessarily. But looks like Dandy is taking a defensive stance in this matchup.
Nobunagao, Dandy is right now. Ryzen is one away from winning it. Grand Finals, last chance. So I think honor goes out the window.
It's true. This is a real. It's tournament.
This
is you gotta fight.
You gotta. What he was doing.
There's honor in winning. So you have to use absolutely every tool available to you.
History is written by the victors.
It is known. All right, we're about a minute 30 in. Dandy does not look like he has much of a desire to actually engage here.
No, up until just a second ago, I don't think I saw him actually fire. He's just sort of been dancing around. I honestly wonder if he's like trying to taunt Ryzen or something.
Could be. Well, maybe just try to throw him off his game, with get him to set his guard down and then attack when the opportunity strikes.
Maybe, but you only got 5 minutes to do so, and you never know when that opportunity is going to come that you want to take advantage of it. You never know when your opponent's going to lose patience and just gun for you. He's
2 minutes.
It's playing this dangerous game, if that is it. Yeah, blinking with that Siegfried core sucks down stamina.
Yeah, that's risky. But it looks pretty calculated from what I can tell.
That is true, Eclipse. Maybe we're just witnessing the Dandy special. The secret technique passed down from generation to generation.
It's definitely unorthodox. I would be confused, that's for sure. If I was Danny's opponent right now, I would not quite know what to make of this.
I mean, I say just shoot him, but that's my answer to most things.
That's a good strategy, but Dandy is making it hard. Alright, we're under 2 minutes left. I'm very curious to know what the BP totals are. Not that many shots have been fired by either player. Ryzen's been trying, but Dandy has been just maintaining a safe distance and not really been within striking range.
Huh. It's off topic, but I never realized that the fins on Flambears actually animate with the boosters on the leg, even though there don't seem to be any secondary boosters inside of them.
Oh yeah, I love the leg, like Mume legs do a similar thing. Fence open up while you're boosting around, which I thought was cool.
Well, again, it's not vents, it's fins. I don't know. Flambear's legs are weird, but really, really cool. So, whatever.
They're pretty cool looking. Alright, we got less than a minute left. This is, yeah.
And at this point, I think Ryzen's just wanting to get it over with. He's done with this. He's not fond of being made fun of, and Dandy's now giving him the fight.
Well, Dandy's got about 30 seconds of tournament life left. If potentially he's not able to. Oh, he landed a shot there. Ryzen took a good hit on his shield.
Ooh. This is either the most brilliant psych out strategy or the most bizarre BM I've ever seen.
It's definitely a little unusual. That much I will say. Alright, here we go. This is gonna be the moment of truth here. Time is up. Who's it gonna be?
Ryzen is our victor.
Ryzen is your BBBB tournament Grand Finals winner. And I forgot to switch the overlay again. That's okay. Grand Finals, oh my god, 98 to 92. Damn.
Oh my god.
What a fight.
6% difference.
Well, congratulations very much to Ryzen. His very first tournament, and he took it down all by himself, barely touched.
Absolutely. I mean, he nearly swept the board. He only had one loss today.
That's true.
Which
Yep,
is
one
damn
loss.
impressive.
That was a tough loss. This was an excellent fight. And Ryzen, congratulations, you are our tournament champion. Well done, sir. Congratulations.
And thank you, Dandy Salad, for showing up. It's always fun to see you as well.
Absolutely. Dandy putting on a very impressive show, completely undefeated, at least in matches, total matches, throughout the bracket up until the very last fight there. And Ryzen.
If he really capitalized more on that environment game and been a bit more aggressive like he did in that one match, I think he would have had a good chance.
Yeah, perhaps taking it back to Snowy City in the final round may have been a good decision, but regardless, I approve. He wanted to stick it out. I appreciate that too. He wanted to absolutely fight on whatever terms were available.
Absolutely.
You did a great job. So, Dandy, congratulations.
Thank you, Ryzen. Excellent showing. Great work. Fantastic work, my dude.
Absolutely. Ryzen is overwhelmed with pleasure in the moment.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, everyone. That is our tournament. That is going to be it. Thank you so much to all the participants for playing. Thank you so much to all of the viewers for checking it out, for coming to visit, for watching all the exciting action. I hope you had a great time building weird stuff and playing unusual things. That was kind of the whole goal here, so it was great to see some weird builds all over the place.
Absolutely, some very creative ones.
Very cool. And thank you, PokeFan, for the co-commentary and for helping me host this whole thing, and for the great overlays. I am terrible at switching around.
Anytime, my dude.
No, thanks so much.
Yeah. Shall we show them the final screen?
Oh, sure. Yes, let's do it. Here we go, guys. Isn't that awesome? All right. Cool. Well, I'm going to
Thank you
say
for
my
showing
farewells
up,
here.
everybody.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
VODs will be available. I believe I believe Rob is uploading them to his YouTube, right?
Yes, I will be exporting this to YouTube immediately at the end of the stream.
Magic.
Cool. All right, Pokey, I'm going to close this call out, but thanks so much again. It's great having you, and I appreciate all your help.
Absolutely.
And,
anytime.
Great conversation. All right. Peace, brother. Whew. All right, folks. That is going to do it for the first ever Bargain Bin Blowout Bonanza Daemon X Machina tournament. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for checking it out. That was a very exciting top three. Congratulations to all the players, to Reggie, to Dandy, and to, of course, Ryzen, our champion, our brand new champion, who is his first tournament. He busted out those fail knots, which nobody else had, and he kicked major ass for them. That was cool. Very innovative. Very good shit. And yeah, that was fantastic. Let me see here. There we go. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Yo, what's up, Mr. Nev in the chat? GG Faux Show. That is it. Thank you so much for being here, Convenient, Dragoon, Nobunagao, Rookie, everybody, Eclipse. It's awesome to have you. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed checking this tournament out. Hope you enjoyed playing in this tournament, if you did. And look forward to additional tournaments. This was a lot of fun for me. I will be sending out the prize money, including the generous anonymous donation that bumped up the value a little bit. So thank you for that to mysterious community member. And yeah, we'll do another one of these. We'll do something fun. I think players seem to enjoy the building restriction. Maybe we can maybe we can flesh out that concept and switch some stuff around. Oh yeah, Eclipse, thanks for the shoutouts. I do stream fight nights every Friday around anywhere from 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. There's casual 2v2. Everyone is welcome to join. There's no restriction on skill level or anything. Anyone's welcome. It's always a fun time. And also, once again, I'd like to shout out Lichtmare in, let's see, 3.5 hours. It's going to be hosting a PC fight night. I don't believe it will be streamed, but it will be a great time. You should definitely check it out because PC players are looking to fight. They've been hungry for a little while, and they want to get some action in. So yes, please do check out the Discord. Come hang out and come fight us. We want to fight. So, all right, fantastic. I think I'm going to call it there for now. And yeah, I will see you guys soon. I'm looking forward to our next meeting. So thank you very much. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. See you next time. Peace, everyone. Bye.